gotten off the couch and felt so lightheaded or dizzy that you could just fall over? Well, while you can't rule out a neurological issue, the solution could be as simple as replenishing your body with the essentials. Let's welcome back nurse practitioner Chris Jackman from the Carolina Holistic Medicine. Thank you so much for coming back.
Absolutely.
You know, anytime we talk about these things, it's just so fascinating. There's so much to learn about our bodies, these incredible machines. But, you know, I think all of us can relate to that feeling of lightheadedness.
Yeah.
And it's not fatigue. We can rule out in some cases neurological issues. So what is kind of the typical problem, underlying problem?
Yeah, so a lot of times it's just deficiencies in our body. And we don't know what those deficiencies are because, like you said, it could be several things. It could be iron deficiency, it could be B12 deficiency, it could be low magnesium. We're not really sure, but what we do know is that there's a deficiency in our body that we have to replenish. And if we can replenish it, we can feel ourselves again.
Okay, so you talk about iron. So
Yes.
iron is in our blood. We have to have it.
Yeah.
So where do we get it? How did it arrive, and where do we usually derive it from?
So iron comes from, you know, ferrous salt, which is a natural substance that we have, and they did add it to iodized salt, so we tend to get it naturally through food. But if it's not enough, if we have issues with low iron, we're going to feel fatigue, we're going to feel brain fog, we're going to feel lightheaded at times. We're just going to not feel ourselves, more pale skin. And so it's important to make sure that that is optimized. Otherwise, you definitely will be feeling like you're at a disadvantage all the time.
Is there any way to take a home test to find out how low you are in iron, or if you're even anemic?
Yeah, so it's a standard blood test. It should get done in almost every yearly checkup.
Oh.
So we typically check it at least once a year, depending on if patients have anemia or iron deficiency.
So you have to do it in a doctor's office? There's
Typically,
nothing
yeah.
that you can do at home?
Not really. I mean, you may be able to find like an online source for an at-home blood test, blood kit, but I mean, typically it's run through a doctor's office.
What are some of the best ways to replenish that iron? So you mentioned iodized salt,
Yeah.
but a lot of people are using sea salts and things like that, so the iodized salt is less common in certain people's diets.
Correct. Yeah, so you can use a iron supplement. The downside to using iron supplements, which comes from ferrous salt and comes from the natural source, is that it can cause constipation. That's the big one. So iron tends to kind of suck in all of the water in our gut, and it kind of then dries out our stool. So our stool becomes very, very dry, and that's what leads to the constipation. So other options are trying to get it through food, fruits, vegetables, things like that. You can get it through organ meats as well. That was a really big popular thing with Liver King and all that kind of stuff.
My mom, when I was a baby, she would blend up liver, and
Yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah, so I mean that's...
Can't say that I do that today, but...
No, a lot of people, it was a fad for a while, but now that's kind of gone away. So, and there's also supplements, like one is called Blood Builder by Mega Foods, which is a supplement where you can get iron strictly through food sources instead of using the salt version.
So is there a carrier vitamin that you should take in conjunction with iron to help it better absorb?
So yeah, that's important. Vitamin C, which is important because if you're someone who's taking vitamin C and you have high levels of iron, it can actually, you know, be a detriment to you because you're absorbing more iron than you need. So it's important to know when you're on vitamin C, not only if you have iron deficiency anemia or hemochromatosis, which is high levels of iron, because vitamin C is a carrier and will cause better absorption of the iron. So it can be good or bad.
And before we got started, you were also mentioning menopausal women who do not have regular cycles. Well, when you do have the regular cycle, you're losing that blood, you're losing the iron, but in menopausal women, they're holding on to it. So you could actually have too much iron in your system.
Right.
In that case.
So some women will be anemic their whole life because they have heavy periods and they're bleeding each month and getting rid of that iron. And then they get postmenopausal and they don't realize that now their iron levels have shifted from low to high. And taking things like vitamin C or iron supplements can actually make you feel the same symptoms you felt as when you're anemic, but now it's because you have high iron and you don't realize that you think, oh, I'm still anemic, and you're actually high.
Oh, very interesting. Okay, let's talk about magnesium now.
Yeah.
So this is a really important one to add.
Yeah.
Cheers.
So magnesium, the confusing thing about magnesium is there's 100 types. So it all depends on the carrier amino acid that it's attached to. Magnesium can't make its way into our system without a carrier. So you have different types of magnesium, all kind of for different parts of your body, whatever you're kind of needing to support the most.
Okay, how about B vitamins?
Yeah, so B vitamins are very important because with B vitamins, we get them through food. So if our gut is absorbing our B vitamins well and we're eating foods in high levels of B, we're going to get our B vitamins great, we're going to feel good. But if our gut's not absorbing it, then we're going to be low in B12, we're going to be low in folate, and we're not going to be able to utilize those B vitamins we're getting through our diet, and you're going to feel very fatigued, very slow metabolism.
And B12 you can always take sublingually. You can always get a monthly shot.
Right.
They do have some high milligram B12s, but whatever your body doesn't use, it just flushes out. Right?
Yeah, so vitamin B is a water-soluble vitamin. So that means if whatever your body doesn't need, you pee out.
Yeah.
So it's typically won't hurt you to take too much. I mean, you can have symptoms of too much, but it's typically not going to hurt you. But what's important, another important thing is there's genetic factors where some people can't turn their B vitamins into a methylated version of a B vitamin, which means they can't absorb it. So you may have a genetic makeup that causes you to not be able to absorb your B vitamins, and then you will be deficient even if you're taking a B vitamin, if it's not the right type.
And it's good to test for vitamin levels, and then you can see what you're deficient in, start there, replenish those, and then start adding.
It can be dangerous just to take things because you think you have it. You know, I tell people if you go out and buy a B vitamin and take it and you don't need it, you just making expensive pee. Right?
Yeah, I know, right?
So that stuff's not cheap.
Very expensive.
Yeah. So it's better to actually see what your deficiencies are,
Yeah.
fix the deficiencies instead of just randomly taking vitamins to try to cover up a symptom.
Excellent advice, Chris. Thank you so much. Good to see you again.
Good to see you.
We're back after this.